Well, happy Tuesday morning, everyone, and welcome back to Morning Musings. My name is Don K. Preston. I am the president of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma. Hey, look, I've just got to express my appreciation for all of you from literally around the world for signing up to watch the Preterist Pilgrim Weekend, which begins this Thursday, July the 14th, 2016. We have a fantastic seminar lined up. The topic, the theme is the fallacy of amillennialism. In addition to the seminar and the great speakers that we've got, I'll be having a 2-day formal debate with Dr. David Hester. We are offering that to you to watch live stream on your own computer, free of charge. And I've got to tell you, the registrations have been just flying in. We have registrations from many foreign countries. I can't even name all of them at the moment, but I want to tell you, it's a lot of foreign countries, not to mention, so many places in the United States. So thank you so much for your interest. And for those of you who are signing up, you should be able to just follow the links to get the login information with the password, okay? It's very easy. Just follow the instructions. Go to BibleProphecy.com or eschatology.org. Just follow the links and read the instructions very carefully, and you can see how to sign up. Okay, well, I'm not even sure that there will be any morning musings the rest of this week. My preparation, all of the logistical details that go into putting on a seminar there are about a gazillion details. So I hope you'll forgive me, but this may or may not be the last morning musing of this week. If I get the chance, okay. If I get the chance, I'll do some others, but this may very well be it for this week so that I can just focus entirely on my preparation. Okay, we're talking about the man of sin. John Hagee and a plethora of other so-called Bible prophecy experts have told us that the man of sin was supposed to be revealed in June of 2016. Didn't happen. July 2016 hasn't happened. August 2016 will not happen. And the reason it will not happen, ladies and gentlemen, in spite of the fact that all the way back in the 80s, Hal Lindsey told us that the man of sin was alive somewhere in Europe at the time, all right? In spite of the fact that we've been assured that he's probably alive somewhere today, the undeniable reality is that Paul, in the first century, 2,000 years ago, said the man of sin was already there and already at work. I want you to notice 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Paul, after reminding them that the man of sin had to come before the day of the Lord, he says, "Do you not remember that I told you these things when I was with you?" Now, it seems to me that we have a perfectly legitimate right to ask, if the man of sin wasn't to come for 2,000 years plus, then why was Paul so keen, so urgently concerned with letting the Thessalonians know about him in their lifetime? I believe it has directly to do with chapter 1, because they were already in the midst of persecution, but that persecution was going to get worse. And so Paul warned them, just like in 1 Thessalonians chapter 3, 2 and following. Paul said, "Brethren, I urge you that you do not be soon shaken in your mind by this persecution, as if some strange thing had happened unto you, because I told you that this would happen when I was with you." Now, once again, the question is, if these events were to be 2,000 years off, why would they be concerned with them? Notice, Paul says, when I was with you, I told you that if you followed Jesus Christ, you were going to be persecuted. That was something for their lifetime, for their world, for their day. Undeniable. And Paul said it's come to pass. Now, in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, as he talks about the man of sin, Paul said, do you not remember, I told you these things when I was yet with you. There's a perfect correlation between Paul's urgent warnings about if you follow Jesus, Thessalonians, here's what's going to happen. Because those things that he was urgently concerned with telling them about were things that were going to happen in their lifetime. Okay, 2 Thessalonians chapter 1, they were being persecuted, just as Paul had warned them when he was with them. And that persecution was already arising, I am suggesting, from the man of sin who was already at work, the Jewish high priesthood, and we know that from Paul's own days before he became a child of God. Because he had letters of authority from the high priest to persecute Christians. That man of sin was already at work. Not fully revealed as the enemy of God, but certainly at work. And so Paul says, notice this, the mystery of iniquity is already at work. Now watch this. Only the one who now restrains will restrain until he is taken out of the way. Now in the Greek it's very fascinating because Paul vacillates between the neuter and the masculine. It is that which restrains him as well as he who restrains him. So there's something going on in Paul's day that was restraining the man of sin. And look, I'm not going to sit here and speculate endlessly on the idea and the identity of the restrainer, all right? Chrysostom in the 4th century said, well, it has been suggested that it's the Holy Spirit. But he said that cannot be right because if it was the Holy Spirit, then he should have been restrained when the miracles ended, but the miracles ended long ago, therefore the restrainer is not the Holy Spirit. Others have suggested it's Claudius. Others have suggested it's Paul. Others have suggested it's the Roman Empire, which, by the way, Chrysostom sort of leaned to. But you know what? I do not have to know the specific identity of the restrainer, nor do I have to even know the specific identity of the man of sin to know he was alive in the 1st century 2,000 years ago. He was being restrained in the 1st century 2,000 years ago. I was in a formal debate on one occasion, and I pointed these things out, and my opponent said, if you cannot specifically identify by name the man of sin and the restrainer, then you cannot say he was alive 2,000 years ago. And I said, well, in response, I said, well, let's try that out. Let's say that somebody breaks into your house, steals all your stuff, and disappears in the middle of the night. Now, if you cannot specifically identify by name that thief, then it did not happen. Really? People make desperate arguments sometimes. The point of fact is, whoever the restrainer was, he was restraining the man of sin. You know what? You can't hardly restrain someone or something that is not there. It's impossible. So Paul said the restrainer was there. He said the man of lawlessness was already at work, just not fully revealed. This demands that the man of sin was alive in the 1st century. All right. Thanks so much for joining me for this morning's morning musings. Check out my websites, BibleProphecy.com, Eschatology.org, or DonKPreston.com. Tons of material on there for free. Tons of books, CDs, MP3s, and DVDs for your purchase and for your benefit. All right. Thanks again for joining me. Lord willing, we'll have some more on this week. If not, we'll be back with you with a report on the Preterist Pilgrim Weekend next week. Thanks for joining me.